Welcome, friends. Welcome back to my backyard. These are black currants. No, everyone who watches regularly is going to roll their eyes at this. Not to be confused with dried currants, which are actually a raisin, and those are grapes growing right there. So when you dry a grape, it becomes a raisin, except when it's a certain type of grape, it becomes a currant, except not a black currant, red currant, or white currant. Those always have the modifier of the color, and they're usually served fresh. So we grow black currants in our backyard, and I've got a recipe today from an old cookbook that we're going to make when I get back inside. So let me finish picking these, and I'll meet you back in the kitchen. Okay, I took these inside in my kitchen inside, and I stemmed and cleaned them, rinsed them, washed them. They're looking pretty good. I love black currants. I love red currants. My grandmother, on one side, her backyard was filled with red currants. And I remember making red currant jelly. She made it every year. I absolutely loved red currant jelly. Nana Murphy had gooseberries in her backyard, and Julie and I would go there and pick those. They're related to currants. There's a video of Julie making gooseberry jelly somewhere way back. I will link to that. Love gooseberries as well. They all have a similar flavor profile. They're all related. So what we're going to make today is something called spiced currants. It's from this cookbook. Let's get going first. So I've got the currants. I've only got a ½ pound. I'm making half the recipe. So into this pot, this is malt vinegar, demerara sugar or brown sugar, dark brown sugar, ginger, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, and allspice. So I'll give that a stir, and what I'm supposed to do is slowly bring it to a simmering point and then simmer it for 5 minutes. Now, let's talk about this cookbook. So this cookbook was sent in by a viewer. Thank you very much for sending it in. I've tried to remove the address from as many places as I could find. I don't want to accept books from people anymore. It's not that I don't want to accept books. I'm tired of the other unmentionable garbage and diatribes that people send in packages. There are some people out there that seriously need a hug. And I just don't have the strength to hug them all. Anyway, this is called the Country Housewife's Handbook, issued by the West Kent Federation of Women's Institutes. First published in 1939, and then pretty much published continuously during the war years. This one was reprinted in 1947, so this is a reprint of the second edition. If I was going to start a homesteading or prepper YouTube channel in 2025, this would be one of maybe a half dozen cookbooks that I would grab out of my collection, and you could base your entire prepper homesteading channel on the information in these books. This one is particularly good. It tells you how to grow your vegetables, how to plot out your garden, how to grow the vegetables, how to take care of the vegetables as they're growing, and then there's a section on cooking your vegetables and preserving your vegetables and so on and so forth. How to raise chickens and how to raise other animals and slaughter them and then cook them. It's a very slim volume, but if this was the only book that you owned after the zombie apocalypse, you'd be okay. This is a great book. And we're going to make this spiced currants. I have never had this before. I'm thinking by the amount of sugar and vinegar that's in here that we are going to boil this in here for 25 minutes. So I'm not really sure about this first section where I'm slowly bringing it up and then letting it cool down before I add the berries and then bring it back up to a boil for 25 minutes. Kind of confused about the actual purpose of some of this, but we're going to follow it anyway. I'm thinking we're going to get something like a pickle or a chutney. Well, a fresh pickle, something that you put on the table and maybe eat with a meat or some sausages or with a charcuterie plate or something like that. I'm sure it would even be great on toast. Okay, so this simmered and I let it cool down to room temperature. We're going to add the currants. I'm going to put the heat back on. I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and then we're going to let it boil for 25 minutes. It says boil altogether for 25 minutes. I'm not going to leave it on like a raging boil, because that seems like too much. So I think I'm going to bring it to like that barely bubbly boil right at the very beginning. I think we're ready to go. So let's see. Let's turn this off. Yeah, that's pretty thick and syrupy. Smells wonderful. I'm going to, I think I'm going to use this jar. I think that's about the right size. This one might be too big. I'm not canning this. I'm not storing this in the jar to put it on a shelf in the basement for future storage. I'm just using this jar because it sits in the fridge really nicely. That's all. And yes, the jar is clean. And it pains me that I have to say that, but that's another comment that I get all the time when I put stuff in jars. Did you clean that jar? Yes, the jar is clean. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I mean, there's two things there. I've been doing this channel for 19 years. I've had this cooking show for 19 years. I have read and heard probably every horrible comment there is to be left on the internet. And it's worn me down. It's only getting more violent. The comment sections are only getting more violent, and that's really getting me down. And it shows in my work. Anyway, I'm gonna let that cool till Julie can get here. But I'm gonna lick the spoon. Oh my. Wow. Okay. I'm not gonna say anything more until Julie gets here. Amazing.
Hey, Glenn. Sounds
Hey,
like
Jules.
you're having a hard time with the spoons back there. Hey, friends. How are you?
Well, I mean, most people keep their spoons in a drawer.
Which is why, often I go back there to pick them out and I end up with, spaghetti, very large
Yes.
soup spoons or anyway.
So this is spiced currants.
Okay. Our currants, I assume?
Our black currants.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you're not going to be a fan.
I'm not a big fan of the black currant, no.
No.
Oh, it's really thick, which is good. All right, I'm suspicious already because I'm trying to read the.
Excruciatingly sweet. Tart, sour. A little bit of the bitterness from the...
Yeah, it's all of those things. It's kind of, if you're looking at me trying to think, I'm thinking. I know, I'm just staring off into space thinking. Because
The vinegar brings some great things.
the first flavor is I think the sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing is the currant. It's the bitterness of the currant.
The currant, in the middle there, you can sort of taste the clove. You get a little bit, the ginger's kind of lost, but it's creating something. The cinnamon's kind of lost and it's creating something. That, on a crumpet, check out our crumpet video. That on an English muffin, check out our English muffin video. That between anything that I have made over the last year where I have put jam in the cake, that would work amazing.
Whereas I actually think it would be good with turkey.
Oh, yes.
I think it would be good with like any kind of meat that you want to, you just need a little something. Not something you'd normally put mustard on per se, but
Okay, so I absolutely despise mint sauce with lamb because I think lamb stands on its own. This would be really good.
I think it would complement certain types of meat.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see it in a cake though, because it would balance out some of the super
Yeah.
sweetness of it.
Yeah. There's a couple of cakes that we've done where I put cherry jam on it. Mm-hmm. What are those? I can't remember. Sorry.
Use the search
Sorry.
engine. Use the search function. Sorry.
That's great. So if you can get black currants, red currants, or their
Red currants though, completely different.
Julie likes red currants.
Red currant pie. Oh,
Or their related berry gooseberry.
I like
You could use
gooseberries too.
any of those in this preparation.
I think so.
Yeah.
I really kind of like it. I have to just figure out what I pair it with.
Yeah.
Experimentation.
I'd pair it with anything. Slather it on toast, on top of peanut butter and toast. I'd be in there. And anyway, this is a really cool book. If you need a guidebook for the zombie apocalypse, this book from 1947.
Do I need to wear the mandatory A-cut skirt?
With the wicker
cardigan?
basket? Yeah. Actually, yes. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.